Okay. Hello. Uh devlog time. Wow. 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 Anyways, I've made nice amount of progress on the game. And actually, I'm very excited to show you what I've been cooking up in the studio. So, here we have the game. Let me just, for the sake of atmospheric ambiance, let me just set this to daytime so you can kind of like see what's happening. Okay. We have Mr. Bob over here. I forgot what I called him. Mr. Bobby, who's terrified as always. Uh, and the two apple trees that we discussed in the last journal. But here we have something unique and interesting. I don't believe I had the stones set up in the last devlog. Yeah, we have a brand new system to play with here. Essentially, we have the beginnings of what is to be a goated crafting system. Now, all life, at least human life, engages with the use of tools and the betterment of environment through man manipulation, or the manipulation through man, by man. So I've created, oh my god, spoiler alert, spoiler alert, spoiler, okay. I've created a campfire prefab. Now, all of this is gravity based, we're gonna see in a second. But essentially, this is a tiny little campfire that is made out of sticks and stones. These sticks are small sticks, which I grabbed by taking the stick prefab that we had previously, which you can find over here, and literally just boop, cutting it in half. So you can look at this. Don't save. You can look at this. This is the big stick. Boom, small stick. Big stick, small stick. Big stick, small stick. Anyways, then I took those small sticks and I built a campfire, again, spoiler alert, through just the stone prefabs, which these are low poly, but they're actually not that low poly. These have far too many polygons, and since stones are going to spawn a lot in this world, I might honestly just make new models for everything down the line, but I want to get the system running first before I have to bore myself with Blender. But you can see a little bit of inefficiencies here through the meshes or the polygons and the meshes. Anyways, that's not a problem right now because performance is incredibly smooth. But we have these stones and we have these sticks formed in a pattern that kind of resembles a campfire. Then we have a spoiler alert, we have another campfire, which this is a small campfire instead of a tiny campfire, which, as you can see, has bigger sticks and smaller, whatever. It's just a bigger campfire than the tiny one. Small little thing with this. I forgot what I was gonna say. Anyways, then what I did is I took the tiny campfire, our beautiful tiny campfire, again with the spoiler alert fire, and I turned it into a blueprint campfire. Now, this campfire has normal pieces in the, oops, oh, I have to manually enable them. It has normal pieces, it's basically a tiny campfire, except these don't have the rigid body and mesh colliders that the other ones do. Again, mesh collider might not be the most performant, might not be the most performant colliders to use in these models. Honestly, for stick, I could probably use a capsule collider, but again, we don't have any performance issues yet, so I'm not really too bothered with this. But then we have blueprint pieces, which are very simple. They're just I just created a material called a blueprint material, and you can see here it's just a see-through. I can't open it. Materials of prefab. No, it's just like a blue, very smooth, very metallic, transparent material that essentially serves as like a ghost rendering. I could do this through shaders or whatever, but honestly, I could not be asked. So material is just so much simpler. And yeah, we have matching pieces for each one. So you can see here, whatever, that's the corresponding stone. They're in the exact same position, kind of. I've just noticed they're a little bit offset, but it doesn't matter. And this blueprint tiny campfire has something which I had to do by hand, which was a little bit annoying. But essentially, it sets up all of the components, blueprint and normal pieces, and it has a script that essentially, when the blueprint gets completed, it spawns a tiny campfire. I think I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's just explain how the system works And I think the best way to explain how the system works is by looking at little Bobby's brain. So let me run this real quick. It always takes a little bit to start, which is kind of annoying. It's like 20 seconds, I think. $25 seconds, maybe? Sorry, it goes nighttime because I was messing with the campfire stuff. Oh, okay, it started. This is Bobbit's brain. As before, we have the sleep sequence, flee sequence, eat sequence, seek shelter sequence, fell sequence for tree felling, which is currently disabled over here. And we have the wandering sequence. But a new sequence has been introduced, which is the crafting sequence. And for the first time, this crafting sequence has two subsequences: a blueprint placement and resource gathering. If you remember, our behavior tree works on a depth first search. I believe that's what it's called, where we look at the human behavior node, and then we look at the first child node all the way on the left, and then we look at the first child node. We go all the way down the tree, all the way on the left. If it's valid or whatever, if the node is active, we activate the node. If not, it goes to the next one, whatever. And we head to the crafting sequence. So of course, it goes to blueprint, and Bobby over here looks to find a placement spot, which I believe we have found already, probably, because it seems to. Oh, what did I do this? Oop. Okay, whatever. He has found a placement. So essentially, Bobby looks for a placement spot. I think a valid placement spot just has to be in the nav mesh. It can't intersect with any other objects, and somewhere in the cone of vision, I believe, of Bobby. So if you see, well, essentially, he finds that placement spot, and then this is actually kind of tricky because it says move to the placement side and then place the blueprint. What actually happens is he just lobs a blueprint and then he moves to the blueprint site. That could be smoothed out, and that might be something I want to change now. But for now, honestly, it's like a little issue that doesn't seem to have any impact on the actual simulation. So when we play it, you're going to see him drop the blueprint somewhere. Oh, silly me. Give me a second. I was an absolute goober. I forgot to reactivate the blueprint pieces. Oopsie daisies. Okay. Okay. So as I was saying, Mr. Bobbert is going to look somewhere. He's gonna place the blueprint campfire. I hate how this always takes time. Wish there was a quicker way to do this. I wonder how much time I've wasted in my life looking at those. Just pause this. No, can we do that? Okay. Sorry, it's very dark. I changed it so the campfire looked better, because otherwise it doesn't seem to really be a need for the campfire. But essentially, we come over here. We have move to placement site. He's gonna move. Oh, okay, it does work. And they place the blueprint. Now he is wondering, for some reason, after every single action the agent commit or the human commits, perpetrates, he initiates a wonder sequence. I'm not sure why. You're gonna see that cooldown hits 0, and then he's gonna move to the next sequence. Okay, so the blueprint has been placed. We have the blueprint over here. And is there any way I can light this hoe up to kind of show you what's happening? No. Okay. Anyways, blueprint has been placed. So now the next thing is the Bobbert over here checks the recipe of the blueprint that he just placed. So the blueprint recipe requires 1 stone. Oh, I just realized. I think this was actually. Oh, I think I did this in the silliest way possible. I could have added all of the stone ones here in 2 requirements instead of creating all of these. That was a little silly. Give me a second. Let me try something out. Okay, so it turns out I was being silly. I could have just done it this way, which is the way I just did it, and it was a lot faster than the previous way. whatever. And there's probably a better way to optimize it through having like a parent asset for all the sticks and all the stones, and then get it to auto populate or whatever based on the children. But oh, sorry, kind of did a silly thing here. Okay, anyways, where was I? This is why it's good to have these like little devlogs where you explain everything, because you find like silly things that you did they can improve upon. Anyways, the Mr. Bobbert iterates through each of the resources that he has to gather. Let me just wait 5,000 years. So he collects the resources, delivers the resources, checks the recipe, finds out that he needs a stone, looks for a stone, eventually collects a stone, and then delivers a stone. I'm gonna skip over this because you know what I'm gonna do? I'm gonna grab all of the resources and I'm just gonna put them right next to the campfire so he can just do this instantly. I promise he does look for them. He just his searching algorithm isn't too cracked right now. But yeah, essentially he adds them all one by one to the blueprint, and then he crafts the blueprint. Whenever the blueprint is complete, the blueprint gets destroyed and gets replaced by the actual model. Now you know this is the actual model because it does something very fancy. It has gravity enabled. So if I were to remove these rocks, you can see the sticks kind of start falling apart, and there you go, they collapse. So it works like an actual campfire, which I thought was really, really, really cool. I haven't seen a lot of games do this. And yeah, the flame still runs or whatever, but eventually we'd have something where the flame gets like extinguished if all of the stuff collapses. But yeah, I think it's pretty cool. There's something else that's really cool about this flame, which is that all of these particles are emit light on their own. So if you go over here, they have light. And you can see if I reduce it, you can see what like one particle looks like. So when you put a bunch of them together, you get like, you can kind of see more better in the sticks or the stones. You get the flickering light of a flame, which I think is going to look so cool when we start adding like torches and stuff. But I think it already looks super sick. If you put an extra tree, you can really see that effect more clearly. So you're in the reflection of the wood, which doesn't really make sense that there's a reflection of the wood, but you can see it there. Another cool thing is I like moving it around. It's so cool. I love particle effects. I've never messed with particle effects before, so this is really novel and really cool to me. Anyways, that's how the fire works. Something else that's crazy about this fire. Oh, I got this fire from, again, I don't want to hide any of this because I don't believe this is bad or whatever. I got this fire from a model, from a package called Fully Opaque Fire, and it's from November 2025. This model is, this package was cool and the fire was cool. However, I changed the script significantly to allow for certain things and translated from French. And I changed the model a little bit by adding smoke to it or whatever. So this isn't the base flame or fire. This is with significant changes to it. One of the changes allows me, oh, actually this one is circular. So if you look over here, it has like a floor, which makes more sense for a campfire. Whereas there is another one I have, which is a spherical one. This is a lot closer to the original one. And you can see here, well, maybe at the current intensity is harder, but you can see this one's kind of like flat and this one's kind of spherical. If I do something, which is something that I modified from the original one, and if I up the intensity, you can really see the difference between the two types of fire. I mean, this one's clearly very flat and this one's clearly very spherical. I don't know if I added, no, I didn't add custom flames to this one, or at least custom light emissions, or maybe I did. I did. Why are they not working? Ooh, oh, because there's no light. There you go. Okay, if I attach the light, it works well. Okay, anyways, we don't need this. Let me show you how this works. So you can have the intensity at 0 where there's no fire. You can start a little bit of spark. See here, and the spark starts, and then a fire really starts burning out. And then if I go a little further back, and I increase the intensity, you can see that it quickly becomes a massive fire. Now, I'm trying to fix something you're going to see here in a second with the particle system. Eventually, the particles just cut out because a max particle limit gets hit. I've already changed this in the code, and it doesn't matter how many times I change this to 5K here and increase the particle count. It doesn't seem to actually stay. I don't know why. It's something I'm trying to fix. But yeah, this is a massive fire, right? So the flame goes really high up. All of this is lit up, by the way. And then we have the smoke that reaches really high up, like all the way here. But yeah, I think this fire looks pretty cool. It's still going with the low poly theme of the project. Again, I didn't necessarily really want to do a low poly system, but it's the easiest, especially if I'm gonna make the 3D assets myself. But yeah, smoke, fire. I try to watch some campfire videos and try to mimic like a true campfire as hard as I could. Of course, campfires aren't like cylinder tubes, but another really cool part about this is look at this. I can add like a wind direction, and it's as if there's like a western wind or whatever blowing into the campfire and pushing it more to the side. Oh my god, I just realized max particles reset. Do you see that? Isn't this so stupid? I don't know why it does that. No idea why it does that. Yeah, you can see here it's like getting pushed by the wind. I think that's pretty cool. You can also, again, like before, let me quickly just reset this. Oh, you can also make the wind go up, which I think looks super sick. Of course, if the particle system were to work, it would look even cooler. Just set this to 5K. Yeah, it looks wild. I think, I mean, you can almost like a jet engine with this. If I were to delete the hearth and rotate, if I were to rotate this by 90, I mean, that looks sick, right? It's like a little jet. I don't know if that's going to be a lot of use in this project, but I think it's pretty cool. Anyways, let me just again reset this to 5K. This is so annoying. I really want to figure out what's causing this max particle stuff to lock to 2K. Whatever. Oh, actually, we need to lock all of these to 2K. I don't know why I'm changing this. It literally doesn't matter. I can also just reset this, or I can just put this to 5 and it'll look better. Okay. Anyways, that's the fire system. I think the fire system is pretty cool. I'm pretty proud of it. Of course, I didn't design it fully myself. I used a package for most of it, but I think the little changes I added were pretty cool. Intensity used to be hard limited to 2. So if you grab this and you stuck it at 2, it didn't even look like this. It looked a little different. And I just maxed out to 10. I'm probably gonna make it go further. I don't see a need to make it go further than 10 right now, so I'm probably not gonna do it. But later on, there's always the possibility of expanding it in that regard. But yeah, that's a really cool crafting system. It's pretty modular, I believe. So you can I can start crafting more things like shelter or tools. I'm gonna want to use a torch eventually. But yeah, the only issue with the crafting system, not issue, but the only gap right now in the crafting system is there is no motivation to craft a fire. So this is just an art. It's just like a thing that I've manually added here with a crafting test. Just like the tree felling, there's no actual motivation to fell trees. So possibly the next thing I might even do tonight. It's 1:20, but I could maybe do it tonight. Is create a temperature system. So this might be harder than I think it is, and I think for most things they are kind of harder than I think they are. But essentially, we're gonna create like an ambient temperature thing where during the day it's really hot, so it motivates capsules or humans to like sit in the shade or to seek some form of shelter to avoid like the sweltering heat of the sun or whatever. And when it's nighttime, it gets cold and it motivates you to start a campfire to stay warm. So I think that's pretty cool. Another thing I'm going to add is procedural generation of grass and sticks and rocks, or sorry, stones. So they're not just like random things that are spread out throughout the environment. But yeah, besides that, there's not really much else to do. So there's going to be a lot of environmental changes. I'm gonna copy and paste these trees and spam these trees a little bit more, and kind of make this a more pleasant environment. Of course, I think after that, it's going to be time to start creating some test scenes for specific behaviors like crafting and stuff like that. So we're not in like the middle of a forest, but I think this project is moving phenomenally. I'm not game loop maxing like I was with the actual game. However, again, this system is going to be incredible. Like this crafting system is going to be critical for the other project. I, the Look at this little eyeball. The next thing I kind of have to do is or not have to do, but want to do, I guess, in the future, is port all of this behavior onto a player interface. So be able to go into like first person or whatever, and actually command uh your human to do all these things. So kind of like do a survival game. But I'm yet to see a survival game which has extensive AI like this game will do. Um Again, I'm not uh primarily selling this as like a game. Again, I'm not doing this for other people to play necessarily. Again, if I was trying to player max, I'd be developing different games. Like these are projects I'm doing for fun because I think these are like really cool things, and I like doing them. So yeah, we're gonna see if this ever becomes a project I'm down to, or motivated to share with the world or whatever. At least more than these video journals that we're doing now. But I think it's interesting. I think this is really cool. And sorry, my legs are really itchy. I don't know why. I've been scratching at this whole devlog. But I think that's gonna be it for this devlog. I've really enjoyed it, and I'm really enjoying this game. I think I'm gonna not cut my losses, but I think I'm gonna cut the project here for tonight. And tomorrow's a Saturday, which means gym and a lot of programming. So yeah, uh, thank you so much for your attention. I love you so very much, and I'm going to see you tomorrow, or hopefully another dev log, because I mean I'm producing these mega fast. I thought this crafting system was going to take far longer to implement. Um, but yeah, progress is moving smoothly, buttery smoothly, and beautifully. I'm very, very, very happy with the project. So I guess I'll talk to you in a bit. Peace out. Good night. Love you so very much, and I will see you tomorrow.